here we are. Horses just went by me. So if you were following our progress, then you would know this is part 3. And I probably should have been a little bit cleverer and like waited until we were on course. But then I saw the sky and I was like, oh, I've got to film it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure where we're going to come out here. Could even end up doing a U-turn back on ourselves, because I don't really want to end up in Keighley. It's miles away. So we'll have a look. What we could do actually is, yeah, we're going to have to. We'll follow the footpath back. Come on, little man. And so we can go, yeah, this is a good idea. Look, we've got some cows here. Some moo cows. Hello. I like this little one. It's looking up at us now. Hang on. No, what's happening? There. It's a little cutie. The little brown one with its little horn. It's only got one horn. Oh no, it's got 2. It wants to show off. It wants to be a YouTube sensation. Maybe it thinks if it's a YouTube sensation, then it'll save it. Ah, go on then, little Ben. Oh, go on. Goodness me, I nearly knocked him off. Of course. Oh, there's all lovely flies. So basically, if we walk back down here, then it'll bring us. There is something we could do. We could walk back round to the altar rock, and maybe those people would have gone by now, because we're still very close to the vicinity where that is. But on the other hand, I think we don't want to walk down there and find. Nose attends on me because it's not that exciting down there. Let's make sure we're not on Zoom. Oh, I'm getting mobbed by horseflies. Lovely. Oh, and there's lovely fresh cowpats everywhere. So, if we walked down to the altar rock and those people were all still there, which they may well be because they were drinking and whatnot, and lounging all over it, well, I'd be like, it'd be such a waste of time, wouldn't it? So we're probably best off to do what we're going to do, which is walk through here. When we're probably about 5 minutes in, we'll be back at the path that we came off because there was too many people about, and I bolted. Like a wild horse, I bolted. People, we can't be near them. I only want to think I was a human being or something. Oh God. How on earth am I going to manage at college where I'm going to have to interact with, oh my God, people? You see, one of the bonuses of my job was, although there was people obviously there, well, and that was where most of my problems came from, the people. But I didn't have to really speak that much because most of the time I was just leading the string along. And probably, well, I'd say the majority of the time I was on my own at the front. And if I wasn't on my own at the front, then I would be with somebody who actually liked me, riding next to me. So it was never hard or awkward, and I was never really having to deal with people more than on a. So I'm fine with people on a one-to-one basis. I'm even fine if you've got like 2 or 3 people there, but if it's anything more than that, you're going into like the vicinity of crowds, I'm not very good. I mean, I'm fine. I just mean, I'm not one of these people that likes to hold court with crowds of people. Although ironically, I can go and do talks in front of people and stuff like that. That's different, isn't it? Just don't like being in situations where people are all having to shout to get heard, because I'll just sit there and not say anything, because I'm not into that, shouting to be heard malarkey. It's not me at all. And I am actually really rather shy when it boils down to it. So, like, when I was younger, I used to find ways around that. Like, for example, I'd go out and I'd drink, and it made me more confident. And so it wouldn't matter that I was shy, or it didn't seem to matter. Whereas now, even to be honest, even if I went out and started drinking, I think that it wouldn't like turn me into this overconfident dick because well, it just wouldn't. It's not important to me anymore to have to pretend to be confident in these situations. I just prefer not to be in the situations in the first place, because I feel like life's too short and precious to be putting yourself into situations that you're not really going to enjoy or want to be in. So that's why when I went to the pub on Friday, I was really nervous. If I'd have known how busy it was going to be, I would never have even made it there. It would have been a leaving party where the person whose leaving party it was meant to be didn't attend. We're just about to hit the track which we're wanting to be on to get to this stone that we're hopefully going to get to. But if we don't get to it, never mind, because it'll be a lovely walk. I mean, it's been a lovely walk, despite all the people getting in our way. Alright, shall I stop talking about that now and talk about something a little bit more interesting? So, what do we talk about? Do you know, when I put my videos up, there's no link for mind control. You know, when you put in like the categories that you things to do about, I normally want to put in mind control and MK Ultra as two of my choices. And I also normally put truth, Nephilim, and occult, because like most of the stuff, even if I'm not talking necessarily about that, the areas I'm in are all like very occult areas and blah blah blah. Yeah, anyway, my point is that I have to just turn it this way a moment. So, oh, I can see now why you struggled a little bit the first time. Let me go first, then you'll have more incentive. Come on then, Ben. Good boy. He copied me. He saw what I did and he copied me. Such a clever boy. So this is where we were. Go on then, little one. I read a really interesting article about DID. Oh, can I even say it? Dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder. So anyway, I read this really interesting article the other day. And you see the way it's portrayed so often, which is very true if you're looking at it from the angle of mind control and cueing different alters out of people. Oh great. People about. Oh, there's a squirrel. We're on past the golf course. I wonder if you can see it. I can't even see what I'm filming because of the sun. It's hiding. Yeah, it's down there. Oh, it's too dark now for you to see it. So let's see if we can just work out where we want to be. I mean, there's some lovely areas that we could go to, but what should we do? Just follow the sunlight? Even though we're going to end up on the golf course. Ben wants to go down there. I wonder if I don't want to get knocked out by any golf balls. Just wondering if there's a map. You're definitely on the golf course now. So, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go into this dark track, only because it leads somewhere, which, tempting as it is to stay in this beautiful sunlight, I don't think we'll be in the woods for that long. So, If it's too dark, I can always lighten it on YouTube. Alter View Walk, this is called. Well, we really want to be going to the. We really want to go into the Coppice Wood. Well, this is Coppice Wood. What am I talking about? I mean, we want to be finding the pondy thing. I don't know what to call it. Lake, maybe. So yeah, going back to the DID thing. There was a really good article. I'll find the link for it and I'll put it in the blurb for this video, presuming I remember to do so. And basically it said, well, it just gave you like a spiel, and it had this woman. It was just obviously like a bit of like a case. Well, it's just an example of somebody with DID. And we're talking about it in its more subtle format, not the way that it's portrayed, where people just think, oh yeah, so-and-so's going... Because when you've got DID, you have a lot of different frontals, which are constantly like shifting, or different elements are coming through. So like, say for example, within your system, you could have... just say, oh, this is like not true, I don't think. I'm just coming off with things off the top of my head. But say for example, you could have 33 main elements of your front altar. So for example, that could be like 33 parts which were, say for example, making up my main front character. Which would all feel like me to me, and I would be co-conscious with all of them because they're just different parts of me. But in actual fact, it's a little bit fragmented, and so if you were going to just go from like one part at the top of the spectrum to another part like at the other end of the opposite end of the spectrum, and then for example I can like read stuff sometimes and think, oh my god, did I actually write that? And yeah, I did, because I don't think about it. Yeah, I wrote that. But it would be, if I was in a completely different frame of mind, or part in charge, then it would be like a million miles away from what a different part would want to write, for example. Or I have quite a lot of childish sides in me, which come out around the animals, in particular. So my voice will change, and I'll be talking like a little kid. But it's subtle, you know, it's not like I suddenly seem like a 4-year-old or anything like that. It's more just like an element of my personality, but really it could be seen as a part which, oh God, it's so hard to even... Well, anyway, going back to this article. So you've got this woman and she's gone to see her shrink. And she walks into his door, she knocks on the door, and he says, oh, come in. And so... as she's knocked on the door, the person who, as the door's opened, she looks a bit blank. Now that's because whichever part of her knocked on the door, she's switched between knocking on the door and going in. And so she'd kind of like forgotten that she's knocked on the door. Now, I've done stuff where I'll ring somebody, I'll ring my best friend up, and then she answers and I'm like, oh my God, I'd like kind of forgotten that I was like calling you. Well, that's kind of a similar example, I suppose. Sounds so silly, though. Anyhow, then she goes in, and he's got books everywhere, and she gravitates towards... Right, so we can't go that way because it's a golf course. And what's down here? Yeah, golf course down there too. So we have to go either left or straight on. We're going to go straight on then. Come on, little one. We're going to go down here. At least I've got some light this way, you see. So yeah, she goes into the office and she picks up some kind of child's toy. And then the doctor says, oh, would you like to play with it or something? And then she like has had another switch, so she like feels a bit silly and she's like, looks at him like and puts it down. She's like, no, no. Then she goes towards another children's item. It's a book about Play-Doh. And she picks that up and looks interested in it. So the doctor says, oh, would you like to borrow that book? At which she, again, like, switches again. And she says, oh, no, no. Anyway, then she sits down and gets a little bit cross, and she says, I can't be in here like wasting time looking at, being asked to look at books. Now, he hadn't asked us to look at any of the books. She'd done that herself, and when she'd switched back to a different front halter, as he'd said to her, would you like to borrow it? So she'd forgotten that it was her who'd gone to the book in the first place. And basically I'm not doing a very good job of describing this, because I only read it once, the article, and it's not the easiest thing to describe, especially when I keep trying to chip in and explain it as it's happening. Maybe I'll just include the article in the point I'm trying to make is that it's not always, people just think that with these like disorders, that when people are switching, they're going from states of complete amnesia all the time, and it doesn't really work like that, because your front system is kind of co-conscious. It's just that you can have a very big spectrum of front personas, I suppose. Well, that's how I would describe it anyway, all like cooperating with one another. But then, of course, when you get into the realms of personalities being cued out, of course there would be total amnesia between different key personalities. And so, for me personally, I don't really like have any memory of any parts like that. You know, I wouldn't even. Yeah. So, but then you wouldn't have, because the whole point is it's meant to be undetectable, and I don't even. Well, you know. Anyway, so that was my really appalling attempt at trying to describe how people. I know sometimes when I'm filming and stuff, I'm like go a bit blank. I wonder what's out here. Ben wants to go and explore down here though, so I think we might just do that. Oh, it's very beautiful. It's nice to be out into the night properly. Oh God, we're going to end up in a bog. At least you got a drink. What am I going to do with no horses to go play with tomorrow? Seriously, it's not a nice feeling. Gutted. Can't believe how, like, well, I'm not being stupid, it's the right thing to do, but then I'll be like, oh God, I can't believe you've done that, Nina. What a stupid thing to do. You've, like, pulled away from yourself the one thing which you love so much. How on earth am I going to function without the love in my life? Especially because this little chap will be going on Friday back to Mum's. So then it's just going to be, oh my God, it's just going to be literally me sat in my house, like, how low can you go? It's going to be horrible. I might not make it. Seriously, it's going to be awful. I don't know how on earth I'm going to cope. Why do my bosses have to be so damn difficult and do this so that they had to be so mean and horrible and turn it all into a battleground? So, can't even really go and just ride out there for fun because they're making it too awkward to even do that. But, you know, I did say that I won't do that because if they weren't going to support me and by letting me work there part-time, why on earth should I go and ride out for them for free on a morning? You know, that would be, like, quite humiliating to go and do. And if I do go and do that, then I can absolutely 100% say it's only because I'm going a little bit crazy and need to ride the horses, because I certainly won't be going up there to ride them for any reason other than that. I'll do anything rather than to actually do that, because, you know, yes, I do want to go and see my horse and the horses I care about, but I do not want to go and do it in that way. I'm going to get in touch with my friend and go try ride her show jumpers over on well, I can't tomorrow because I'm quite busy, but Tuesday I thought I'd try and do that. So, look, there's another one of those dodgy toadstooly mushroomy things. They always make me think of little elves and mystical, foresty people. So, in fact, this looks like the kind of forest where you could find hobbits. Should we go on a hobbit hunt? When I was little, I used to believe in borrowers because, well, I used to believe in borrowers and fairies and all that. In actual fact, my mum, who has no kind of belief in anything supernatural, I realised, though, that before I became like a more open Christian, as in I was brought up to be nothing, and then even though I did go to church when I was a kid, I don't think Mum really saw that as a threat, because as I found out, to my great surprise the other day, she used to believe in Jesus when she was a little girl too, because they used to do church at school and stuff. Sorry, I was just checking filming time. I can't believe it's almost up. So anyway, then I was thinking back to my childhood though, and I realised Mum hasn't always been so close-minded to God and the idea of supernatural forces at work, because I would say that she used to we've got it, we've come here, look, this is where we nearly went off. This is where we wanted to come to. This is the Ballantyres Stone. Oh my god, how exciting, we've done it. Here it is, Lady Ballyntyres Rock. Oh, I've been calling her the wrong name. It's Lady Ballyntyres Rock. 1875. Oh, how exciting. So, let's see if I can read it, because you're not going to be able to see that very well. I'll just read it quickly, see if I can. Alright, I think we might be able to. Oh, I don't know, some of it's quite hard to read. The Dowager Lady Ballantyre, for nearly 30 years, was accustomed in summer to sit under this rock, reading and enjoying the scenery. In 1857, St. Ives was altered and enlarged from plans entirely drawn by herself and her daughter, the Honourable M. Ferrand. The terrace and its flower garden, were also designed by them. Her ladyship ended her last visit on the 21st of November 1874 and died resting on the Rock of Ages at Lennox. Love in East, oh gosh, I can't read this bit now, East Lothian, on the 19th of the following month, I think it said, in her 84th year, with faculties impaired and most deeply lamented. I think that's what it said. So then it goes on to say that Mr. Ferrand, her son-in-law, mournfully dedicated this monument to her beloved memory, and with confidence receives the future owners to preserve it as an affectionate memento of the oh gosh, I can't read that word, of mothers and the sweetness of women. Oh, that's so sweet. All right, memento of the best of mothers and the sweetest of women. Yay, I did it just before we were about to run out of filming time. So what I'll do is, on the other part, we'll have a look around. Okay, I'm going to switch this off now because it's So up the swimming time, we're going to have a look on top and whatnot. Cool, we got here, Ben, we got here.